Every mammal has fur. Bears, lions, monkeys, mice, all of them. So why are we humans so naked? A chimpanzee doesn't actually have more hair follicles than we do. Their hair is just thicker and denser, so it looks like a full fur coat. We're born with roughly the same number of hair follicles as a chimp. Ours are just thinner and shorter, so they barely show. So the real question isn't why we didn't get hair. The question is, why did we lose our fur? Let's go back 7 million years. The strongest scientific theory is this: we went naked in order to run. 2 million years ago, our ancestors, Homo erectus, lived on the African savannah, surrounded by predators like lions and cheetahs that were far faster than us. But humans had a secret weapon no other predator had: endurance. A cheetah can hit 60 miles per hour, but only for about 30 seconds before it overheats and has to stop. Humans are slow, but we can run for hours. Why? Because we have millions of eccrine sweat glands spread across our entire body, constantly cooling us down. But if the body were still covered in thick fur, sweat couldn't evaporate properly, and the whole cooling system would be useless. So evolution made a trade-off: lose the fur, gain the sweat glands. This let early humans practice something called persistence hunting, chasing an animal for hours, not by outrunning it, but by outlasting it, until it collapsed from heat exhaustion. A lion ambushes. A human simply doesn't stop. This hunting style still exists today among groups like the Kalahari Bushmen, who chase animals like kudu until they drop from exhaustion. This isn't just about hunting, it's about the brain too. The human brain is unusually large compared to other animals, and a bigger brain needs better cooling, since overheating can cause real damage. Some scientists believe that losing body hair and gaining efficient sweating helped keep our brains at a safe temperature, which in turn allowed us to evolve larger, more complex brains. In a way, your bare skin is one of the reasons you're able to think as much as you do. There's another compelling theory: parasites. Thick fur is the perfect home for lice, ticks, and fleas. And these parasites weren't just irritating, they carried deadly diseases. As humans began living in closer social groups, the risk of parasite infestations grew. Individuals born with slightly less fur had fewer parasites, got sick less often, and survived at higher rates. Over generations, this trait, reduced fur, kept getting naturally selected. Interestingly, research suggests that human body lice, the kind that live in clothing, are only around 170,000 years old. That implies humans likely started wearing clothes around the same time their natural fur had already thinned out significantly. A third theory looks at this from a completely different angle: sexual selection. Some scientists, including Charles Darwin himself, believed smooth skin may have become an attractive trait, similar to a peacock's feathers or a lion's mane. Smooth skin makes parasites, skin conditions, and signs of aging more visible, so smooth-skinned partners may have appeared healthier, making them more desirable. Over generations, this preference could have reinforced hairlessness at the genetic level. This theory alone doesn't explain everything, but combined with the sweating and parasite theories, it paints a fuller picture. Here's a fascinating detail in that we didn't lose all our hair. Hair stayed on the head because the scalp needed protection from direct sun exposure, especially once we started walking upright, and the head became the most exposed part of the body. Eyebrows and eyelashes stayed to keep sweat and dust out of the eyes. Hair remained in the underarms and groin. Some scientists believe this helped trap pheromones for attraction and communication, while others suggest it reduces friction in those areas. So this isn't really a story of all hair disappeared. It's a story of strategic hair loss, where evolution kept exactly what was useful and removed the rest. Here's a mind-bending fact. Scientists can actually trace genetic mutations to estimate when hairlessness developed. Studies on the MC1R gene, which controls skin pigmentation, suggest that humans were already largely hairless around 1.2 million years ago, with darker pigmented skin evolving for sun protection once fur was no longer providing cover. This means the process began as far back as Homo erectus, long before Homo sapiens even existed. Our nakedness, in other words, is so ancient that it's practically part of what defines our species. So, next time you look in the mirror and wonder why you don't have much body hair, remember, this wasn't an accident. It was a survival strategy that made us better long-distance hunters than any predator, allowed our brains to grow larger, protected us from deadly parasites, and even played a role in attracting mates. Your bare skin is quite literally one of the reasons you exist today.